Hey, what's up guys, this is Dave from NetcodeGuides.com. Today we're going to look at a round versus Nip and Fnatic where Olafmeister played the round so freaking well that I had to make a video about it. Who, in my opinion, is probably the best player in the world right now. And probably has been for the past, maybe 6 months. But, anyways, notice his spawn and notice how he gets out of spawn as fast as he can with his knife, takes the most optimal route possible, jumps here to mask his sounds a little bit, peeks out and kills Alu. Now, playing against Nip, Alu loves going for this pick. He loves peeking down towards Mexican pit, down towards T steps. And right there, Alu was waiting for the Nip flash, or the Fnatic flash, and then he was going to peek, right? So he got caught off guard with Olaf's insanely fast timing. Now, he goes back, he takes it slow, he doesn't try to press too much. At this point, they just want to look for one-for-one trades, and if they could just get one-for-one trades, they're going to win the round, right? And that's pretty much exactly what happens. So Crim's going to go and pick Boiler with JW, and they're going to get a one-for-one. And Olafmeister here is going to get to the end of halls really just probe, right? He gets all the way to the end of halls, and this was a really good move by him, because watch what happens. Get Right's rotating from B. He's going to come, he's going to get a kill at middle. But Olafmeister knows that Forest isn't pit. And that's huge. Him knowing that Forest isn't pit is seriously going to win them the round. As simple as that. That knowledge that he has right now was such like a game-winning play. He sees where Forest is throwing the nades from. He might have even caught a glimpse of him there, but he knows he's not pit. And as soon as he knows he's not pit and you're in these halls, right, you could do a lot of jiggle peeking to get to see where they are in sight and then finally kill them. Like you could see here, he runs out, he sees where Forest is, and he's able to get that kill. Like a lot of jiggle peeking. And it's a really hard spot to be at sight, right? Because if you're at sight in this situation, what happens is you have to look top and bottom, right? No homo. You have to look top and bottom. So it's pretty tough, and it's shown by Forest dying there. Now, the entire round has just been one-for-one trades, one-for-one trades, one-for-one trades. And once again, we're going to see it again. You know, Freeberry's going to get that kill, try to lock it, but Flusha's not going to get blind. He's just going to get this easy kill here. We're going to go a little bit more in depth in this round, but I think Olafmeister there played that so damn well. And it's definitely something that everybody needs to take note of, because the way he got to end of halls and he used that information, just that little bit of information, was a round-winning play. Had he been playing back more and not gotten that information, and they don't know that Forest is sight, all of a sudden that round is so much more difficult. You know, Olafmeister is super worried about pit, Flusha is super worried about pit. Most likely what would have happened is Flusha comes up sight like this, he dies to Forest, and then Olafmeister comes and trades on him, gets the bomb plants, and is in a 1v1, which could be a completely different round, right? But luckily for them, Olafmeister got the information that he was sight, and they were able to get that clean kill on it and make it a 2v1 to win the round. Let's take a look at this round and look at it a little bit more in depth, and look at how Fnatic grinds out the kills through trade fragging to make sure every single frag after the 4v5 happens is a trade kill. And that's exactly what we want to do, because, I mean, obviously, if you trade frag when you're up 4v5, you're going to end up winning the round with one guy left, which is actually what happens in this round. So Alu makes a bit of a mistake here. He just takes too long, doesn't realize the timing and that Olafmeister could come. I mean, when Olafmeister killed him, if Olafmeister wasn't there, Alu still would have been in the middle for probably 2 more seconds. So Alu fucks up a little bit there. Now, as soon as Fnatic gets this frag, that's all they want to do. They just want to systematically take it, make it, and get a trade kill every single round. So you're never going to see someone going by themselves. And their positioning is pretty, telling of that. Look where Flusha is, right? Quite often, whenever you get a kill on T side on Inferno, what's going to happen is the B guys are going to push B and try to even it up, right? Because that's a spot where you're like, okay, there's probably going to be one guy there. Most defaults have one guy there. We can even it up, kill that guy, know nobody's banana, get pushed up, rotate 3A, right? That's the general reaction. As a very elementary school of thinking on Inferno, that's the reaction that you see the most when it's 4v5 on the CT position. So that's why you see Flusha playing so passively, right? He's not even shooting his gun, nothing. He's just waiting. He's waiting behind Nip Smoke, just chilling here. He's not going to force the issue. He knows that if anybody is in the most danger here, it's probably him. Fnatic sends JW and Crims towards Porch and Halls, Porch and Boiler. JW baits out the shot. Crims gets the kill, and then Forrest gets the trade kill. But again, they went 1 for 1. Yeah, JW has 40 health. Existed 60 damage, whatever. But it's a 4v3, right? And just like Fnatic wanted, they get the trade kill. And at this point in the round, it's very important to note that Fnatic knows exactly where every single member of NiP is. That's why Olafmeister could pull out his knife and get to the end of holes. They know Force is at Porch because he just got that trade on Exist on the guy in Boiler and kill Crims. They know Get Right's going to be rotating back from B, and they know Freeberg's going to stay B, right? Like, I don't think Freeberg ever leaves B. So they know exactly where they are. So instead of forcing the issue here, a lot of teams, again, they would say, oh, we just got this kill, let's rush. But they really weren't in too great a position. If they rush here and they throw a bunch of flashes, honestly, what would probably happen is that Forrest would drop a smoke right here at Porch, look towards Halls, and kill Olafmeister, and then these guys are stuck behind a smoke. And then they probably want to backtrack towards Arch. Get Right's already there. You probably throw some flashes, some nades. Cleans up pretty easily. So it's actually very, very smart of them not to rush here. They would only have 3. Flushes all the way back at B, right? So it is going to be a 3v1, yes, but Olafmeister isn't at the end of Halls. Had Olafmeister been at the end of Halls, they probably would have rushed, but he's not, because he got that kill at middle, so he just didn't have the timing to get up there. But okay, at this point, like I said, they know where every single one of them are. Now let's watch Get Right. Okay, Get Right actually rotates a little bit slowly out of B. Usually he's there by now, towards Arches. Does a flash, comes here, makes sure they're not here, throws a great nade and gets a kill here. And as of this moment, Get Right has 3 choices. Okay, one is to let Fnatic make the move and dictate their rotates, which you never want to do against Fnatic, at least, because they're just too skilled and they're too good at trade killing. They're probably the best team at trade killing in the game, so you probably want to get an informational advantage on them, right? So one would be to just play spawn side like this and either rotate to B or rotate to A. Okay. The other would be to push and gain information, right? And then the third one would be to gamble something, right? Either gamble B or gamble A. I wouldn't gamble something in this situation. I would do what he did, where he pushed to gain an informational advantage, right? So Get Right comes here. He thinks that they might be rushing Porch, but they're not. So he comes. He sees that the smoke's like a little bit off, and he kind of uses that information or that timing to make a play. And I almost guarantee you right now that when he saw that Molotov from Pronax, he was thinking, oh shit, they're going back to B. Almost any time you see people throw nades from the bottom of middle and you hear them from the bottom of middle, they're going back to B. So what does that mean for Get Right? Well, if you think they're going back to B and they just threw a Molotov on the right side mid, you just peek and you just shoot them in the side. That's actually not what happens. Fnatic kind of does a little fake where they fake like they're doing that and they're still going up middle. Get Right comes, he gets that kill and gets traded on by Flusha. Once again, another trade by Fnatic. Every single kill after that 4v5 has been a trade, besides the nade by Get Right, which you can't really account for, right? And then, like we showed before, they're in the 2v1. Forrest is here and Olaf knows he's sight. And he gets pretty much systematically taken apart by Forrest and Flusha. Flusha does a really good job, by the way, of jumping up to kind of like... You saw Forrest twitch his crosshair towards Flusha. That was an important movement to get him that kill. Then Freeberg rotates really quickly, and he plays this 2v1 as perfect as you can. But once again, they get traded on. You know, he has 6 HP, goes for the force defuse. Flusha kills him on the side. So I think that's like a perfect example of how you want to take a round after a 4v5. Seriously. Like, I really don't think there is a more perfect example of a round more perfectly played after you have the advantage. There's really not many, because yeah, there's a lot of rounds where that happens and you just storm through the other team and you just end up winning with like 4 or 5 guys alive. But Fnatic took a route where they didn't take many chances. They relied on their trade killing. They relied on their teamwork. And they relied on the information that they've been getting throughout the round in order to systematically take NiP apart. And that was an example of just perfect play by Fnatic. This has been Daze from NetcodeGuides.com. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.